2016 NFL draft was an absolutely legendary and historic draft for the Jacksonville Jaguars, as in the first round, the Jaguars got Jalen Ramsey, followed by that in the second round, they got Myles Jack, then in the third round, they got Yannick Ngakoue. And the first contract domino falls where we have extended Myles Jack, and in this video, we're going to get right into it. Per many NFL insiders, Myles Jack has signed a 4-year, $57 million deal with $33 million of guaranteed money. That puts him as the third highest paid inside linebacker behind guys like Bobby Wagner and also CJ Mosley. And when you look at the numbers, I really think that Myles Jack probably could have squeezed a little more money out of the Jaguars. I think he actually took a pretty team-friendly deal. If you look at it, CJ Mosley, he's going to be averaging $13.5 million a year. If you can compare it to the other guys I just mentioned, CJ Mosley's getting $17 million a year, and Bobby Wagner is getting $18 million a year. So when you compare that to $13.5 million a deal, that was pretty good money. And Myles Jack, I think, is as good as any inside linebacker in the NFL. And the way Myles Jack got to the Jaguars, man, it was just extremely interesting. He was really a projected top 5, top 10 pick in the 2016 NFL draft. I mean, hell, just like this year, we drafted Juwan Taylor in the second round. Myles Jack was being mocked to the Jaguars at I believe they were drafting number 5 in that year's draft. And then they got Jalen Ramsey, which was kind of a no-brainer. And then eventually Myles Jack starts to fall. And then you had linebackers get drafted before Myles Jack, guys like Darren Lee and guys like Kevin Dodd. And then before Myles Jack fell to us at the 36th pick in the 2016 NFL draft. And the reason why he fell was because there were some injury concerns behind him. Apparently there was some stuff with his knee going on, that there were rumors that he might need like microscopic knee surgery, which is something that if you have, you're never really come back to 100%. It's something that Tyson Alualu had for the Jaguars, and he was never the superb player, the top 10 player that we drafted him to be. But the fact that he fell was amazing. And when you look back on it now, Myles Jack has never missed a single game for the Jaguars. Not a single game. And if you were to go back to the guys from the if you're dating back to the last 3 years, if you were to look at how many players have not missed a game due to injury, I bet it's less than 5% of players. I mean, the guy has stayed remarkably healthy. This guy takes really good care of his body. He's a guy that absolutely loves the game of football, and I really love this signing. And really, he has been extremely versatile for the Jaguars. He's been extremely smart. His rookie year, he actually started off his career as a backup weak side linebacker to Telvin Smith. And, he worked through that through the training camp preseason. And then really once the regular season started, they had to find a way to get him on the field. So they put him at the Sam linebacker spot. The Sam linebacker spot wasn't really a great fit for him. He's more of an off-ball type of runner that really, find the runner, get to him or play back in pass coverage. But when you had Telvin Smith at weak side linebacker and Paul Puslezi at the middle linebacker spot, there really wasn't much room for him in his rookie year. So, he switched over to Sam linebacker. And then in his second year, he actually kept playing the Sam linebacker spot on base downs. But then in nickel coverages, he actually moved over to the middle linebacker spot, with Paul Puslezi getting off the field on nickel down sets. So, he's playing a hybrid strong side linebacker on base downs and middle linebacker on nickel down. Then last season, he was a middle linebacker full time. After Paul Puslezi retired, he played middle linebacker on base downs and then middle linebacker in nickel downs. And then this season, he's going to be an instrumental part of the Jaguars. It's because, for the first time ever, the Jaguars are going to be running kind of a hybrid 4-3, 3-4 defense. You see Josh Allen and Yannick Ngakoue standing up a lot and actually getting back into coverage. He is the quarterback of the defense. He's a guy that gets everybody aligned, and you need somebody that you can trust at that spot. And, once again, it's going to be an interesting year for him when it comes to mental processing, getting everybody lined up. But I wouldn't want anybody else than Myles Jack at that spot, and I think it's going to be really good for him. Now, what does this signing mean for other guys, specifically guys in the 2016 NFL draft? I mean, obviously, we know that we tried to sign Yannick Ngakoue. He held out in the offseason a little bit into training camp before finally coming back. We did finally, it looks like contract stops talked with him. after they gave him a pretty big deal, and then he kind of declined it. So I don't know if we're going to be expecting anything midseason from him. We also have to take a look at Jalen Ramsey. We're going to want to sign Jalen Ramsey. Now, granted, Jalen Ramsey, we have control of him in the 2019 season and the 2020 season, so there's not a huge rush to get really him under contract, but you're going to want to re-sign these guys. And with Ngakoue, because I think Jalen Ramsey is definitely going to earn a contract, but the big question is with Ngakoue. With Ngakoue, we drafted a guy like Josh Allen, and with Josh Allen, the guy is just physically built better than Yannick Ngakoue. And one kind of hot take I have this year is I actually think that Josh Allen will have more snaps on the team this year than Yannick Ngakoue. Like, I really do, just because the guy is built about 20 pounds heavier. I think he's going to be a better first and second down player for us when it comes to run defense, because that's one thing that Yannick Ngakoue has been kind of held back in. But, he's got a lot of work to do when it comes to being the really the pass rush specialist that Yannick Ngakoue has been, because Yannick Ngakoue is just incredible fundamentally and technique-wise at the edge rusher spot. So, really, with that, are we going to be able to pay Yannick Ngakoue enough to stay on a team? I think that we will be able to, but I don't think it's going to come this season. I think after the 2019 season is over, you're going to have to trim some players on a team. You're going to have to cut guys like potentially Andrew Norwell is going to be a big cap relief. Brandon Linder, cut Marquise Lee, and you also have some guys on the defense, most specifically Marcel Darius, who's going to be a $20 million cap hit in 2020, so I think he's going to be a pretty easy cut. Then you look around, maybe you get rid of like an AJ Boye. I think that if Telvin Smith comes back, he is definitely going to be cut, just because we drafted Quincy Williams, who played the weak side linebacker spot. Myles Jack is going to be middle linebacker spot, and there's just really no room for him, especially with his contract situation. So I think that the possibility is to sign Yannick Ngakoue. I'd be severely disappointed if we weren't going to be getting him, and I think there's ways to keep him on the roster. So we're going to have to learn what we have to do with the interior defense alignment spot, because if Marcel Darius does not accept a contract restructure, we're going to be a big hole at that spot, especially with Taven Bryan not looking like he's going to be able to fill any kind of 3-technique nose guard role. Maybe you're going to slide Calais Campbell inside, because I think he's a monumental piece of the team. But today it's good news. We have Myles Jack. Myles Jack is as good of like I said on my Instagram today, Myles Jack is as great of a person off the field as he is a player on the field. I mean, he is one of the nice guys on the Jaguars. All kinds of fans have pictures with him, autographs with him. He's just an overall good dude, and I'm extremely happy for him. I don't think I've ever been happier about a second-round pick, more excited about a second-round pick than when we drafted Myles Jack. I was going absolutely crazy. I could not process it mentally in my head that we got Jalen Ramsey in the first round and somehow got Myles Jack in the second round. It was just a surreal moment, and Myles Jack is still not down. Thank you guys for watching. Please drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts on the Myles Jack contract situation down below. And I will see you guys in my next video, which will be a 53-man roster breakdown, because cuts have happened. Thank you guys, and go Jags.